Hello class, in this video we're going to continue with our clouds, which is really just a way to learn some Illustrator tools that are sort of important. And what we're going to do is we had this filter and these zigzags on these clouds up in here, but now that we sort of change the size and stuff, that settings might not just be quite right. And so the question is, well, how do you go back and change it? A lot of times people don't know that you can go back and change these things pretty easily, and it's using your attributes box. And attributes does a lot more things, which we will continue to look at attributes again in a follow-up video from here, but we will get there in a minute. Or sorry, attributes. I don't know why I was calling attributes. I meant appearances. It just I need a second cup of coffee. Yeah, that's what I'll blame it on. Anyway, I selected this cloud, and when I hit appearances, which is right here, we can see it's got all these things in here. It's basically telling me everything about this object. It has rough and applied. We know that. We saw that in the previous video. It's got no stroke. It's got a fill of white, and it's got a feather. And I can indeed change anything, not that I want to, but if I wanted to make my cloud orange for maybe a nuclear blast or something, I could just change it here as I could change it here or anywhere else. I'll change that back to white. And that's how simple it is. It also has my opacity, which I have set to 60, which I could change here as well. But for these Photoshop and Illustrator effects, the only way I can change them is in this appearances. And if I hit the rough in, it'll bring up this dialog box again, and then I can go ahead and I can hit preview, and I can see the changes as something that I might like. Once I can say, okay, well, that's a little bit better shape. I think the big one that you're going to want to look at least in this particular cloud video, is the feather, because the bigger this gets, the bigger the feather probably wants to be for clouds. I got to go to preview. Sorry. So we can see that it sort of fades it out, and really, I want these clouds to be subtle, so I think a big feather makes sense. So I can say OK, and then I can select this guy, and I can hit feather again and do a preview and see how much of a feather I might want on him. Again, I want a nice subtle look on mine, so I'm going to turn that up high. And I can select this cloud over here, hit feather again, and change them. So, of course, we looked at graphic style in the last video, and graphic style is going to make all the clouds exactly the same. But the reality is clouds aren't exactly the same, so in this case it's okay to have different feathers and slightly different rough-ins and even different opacities. So I'm going to break the sort of link to the graphic style when I do that, but that's quite alright. And now I've got a nice subtle look of some clouds up there using Illustrator effects, appearances, and graphic styles. Right? And those basic things can really allow you to do a variety of things. What I haven't shown yet is Photoshop effects, so I will show that. I'm also going to show another video on appearances, because there's even a new different trick with appearances I haven't shown yet, besides just editing what you already have done, which I'd like to show. And other than that, again, it'll be up to you what you can create and what you can turn this drawing into. But that's the end of this video. I'll come back with another one